On October 17, 1939, the Second World War continued its early evolution, with both naval and diplomatic actions shaping the course of the conflict. With the land battles of the Polish campaign concluded, the war shifted focus to naval warfare and strategic positioning, particularly in the Atlantic. Nazi Germany's U-boat campaign against Allied shipping was intensifying, while diplomatic moves by the major powers, particularly regarding neutral nations, revealed the complexity of the geopolitical struggle. As the war extended beyond Europe, the actions of the day demonstrated the global implications of the conflict and the growing challenges facing both Axis and Allied powers. Military events. The Atlantic War intensifies. On October 17, 1939, the strategic focus was on the ongoing Battle of the Atlantic, where German U-boats were actively targeting Allied shipping. In particular, the sinking of the American cargo ship City of Flint captured international attention. This event occurred as the U.S.-flagged merchant vessel, having been captured by the German pocket battleship Deutschland a week earlier, attempted to sail under German control. The ship was taken to Norway, but the Norwegian government, upholding its neutrality, ordered the Germans to leave Norwegian waters. This incident created a diplomatic stir and increased tensions between Germany and the United States, a nation that was still officially neutral but growing increasingly involved in the war's naval theater. The incident surrounding City of Flint highlighted the dangers faced by neutral nations and merchant shipping in the Atlantic. German U-boat commanders, under orders from Admiral Karl Donitz, were instructed to intensify attacks on British supply lines. These tactics were part of a broader strategy to isolate Britain, starve it of essential resources, and weaken its ability to continue the war effort. While there were no direct naval battles involving major warships on October 17th, the increased U-boat activity and incidents like the City of Flint showed the growing scale and stakes of the naval war. Diplomatic and geopolitical developments. Neutrality tested. The City of Flint incident also underscored the challenges faced by neutral nations like Norway, Sweden, and the United States. These countries, while seeking to maintain neutrality, were increasingly drawn into the conflict due to the global nature of the war and the strategic importance of maritime routes. Norway's decision to release the American vessel and its crew back to U.S. control was an effort to uphold international law and avoid a direct confrontation with Germany. However, this decision also highlighted the growing pressures on neutral nations as they navigated between the Axis and Allied powers. In the United States, the sinking of City of Flint stirred further debate over American neutrality. Public opinion remained largely isolationist, but the Roosevelt administration faced increasing pressure to address the growing threat posed by German U-boats to American shipping. This event contributed to discussions about revising the U.S. Neutrality Acts, which restricted the ability of the U.S. to provide direct aid to the Allies. Although the U.S. would not officially enter the war until 1941, incidents like this foreshadowed the eventual shift in American foreign policy. International reactions and media coverage. News of the City of Flint incident dominated headlines in both Europe and the United States. British newspapers such as The Times and the Daily Telegraph framed the event as a sign of German aggression on the high seas and highlighted the importance of maintaining strong naval defenses to protect British supply lines. The British press also praised Norway's decision to uphold its neutrality and prevent the Germans from using Norwegian waters for their military purposes. In Germany, the press portrayed the incident differently, emphasizing the legality of the ship's capture under wartime conditions and justifying the U-boat campaign as a necessary measure to cripple British war efforts. Nazi propaganda continued to glorify the successes of the Kriegsmarine and its U-boat commanders, framing the Battle of the Atlantic as a struggle for control of Europe's vital maritime routes. In the United States, the media response was mixed. Isolationist newspapers criticized the Roosevelt administration for allowing American ships to become entangled in the European conflict, while more interventionist voices argued that the incident demonstrated the need for greater American involvement in supporting the Allies. The New York Times ran a series of articles debating the merits of U.S. neutrality and the potential consequences of German attacks on American shipping. Projections. The impact of October 17th on the future of the war. The events of October 17, 1939, highlighted the growing complexity of the naval war and its broader geopolitical implications. The intensification of the Battle of the Atlantic showed that naval warfare would be a critical factor in determining the outcome of the war. Germany's U-boat campaign, aimed at cutting off British supply lines, would continue to escalate, forcing the Allies to develop new strategies and technologies to counter the submarine threat. At the same time, the diplomatic and legal challenges faced by neutral nations underscored the global nature of the conflict. As the war dragged on, it became increasingly difficult for countries like Norway and the United States to maintain strict neutrality, and the pressures on these nations would only grow as the war expanded. The incident involving the city of Flint was an early indication that the war's reach would extend far beyond Europe, drawing in nations across the Atlantic and shaping the course of the global conflict.